Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to present to you the guidelines on the basic education enrollment for school year 2020-2021. According to our source, these slides came from the National Orientation of the Department of Education. What are the objectives of this orientation? First, ensure clear and common understanding of enrollment guidelines for school year 2020-2021 in light of national health emergency due to COVID-19. Ensure adherence of the enrollment guidelines to the minimum health and safety standards promulgated by IATF, addressing arising issues and challenges on the conduct of enrollment under national health emergency. Please note, DepEd is still working to secure direct clarification on statement of the President regarding opening of classes, in addition to the clarifications made by Presidential Spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque. Background: due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the school year will open on August 24, 2020. The Learning Continuity Plan outlines various modalities in delivering basic education for the school year. DepEd seeks to ensure that learners are enrolled in the system and map their context to provide appropriate learning interventions. However, we need to modify enrollment procedures taking into consideration the public health situation. Here are the enrollment procedures for school year 2020-2021. Core instructions. Enrollment for school year 2020-2021 shall primarily be administered remotely. The first 2 weeks shall completely be remote enrollment, where there will be absolutely be no face-to-face. Submissions of accomplished LESF shall be done remotely through emails, messengers, and other means of electronic submission. Physical submission of LESF to school or barangay hall shall be the last option and shall only be done by parents or guardians on the 3rd week of enrollment period. Enrollment and Learner Survey. Enrollment: registration of learners for the school year, collection of basic profile of every learner. Learner Mapping Survey: gather information on household capacity to access various modalities. Summary of enrollment procedures. Teacher-led enrollment. For learners already in the system, teachers will contact their students from the previous year and encode survey information using LIS. Enrollment hotlines. Enrollment focal persons or EFPs will be designated to receive calls and queries from parents of incoming learners. For kindergarten, transferees, balik-aral, and ALS learners. Means of collecting enrollment and survey data. Phone call using landline and mobile phones, SMS or text messaging, online submission, that is messenger, email, Viber, among others. Physical enrollment. Any form of physical contact will be the last option for all SDOs and schools. Distribution of LESF shall be coordinated to LGU. If parents, guardian are not able to submit enrollment data remotely, schools in close coordination with LGU shall set up physical platforms to collect LESF. All physical contact shall be in strict compliance with the minimum health and standards. Instructions to submit LESF shall be announced through multimedia platforms, that is radio, TV, or social media. Instruction to parents or learners. For grades 1 to 12 learners, parents of incoming grade 1 to 12 learners will be contacted by their previous advisors for remote enrollment. However, to expedite the process, parents, guardians may also reach out to their child's advisor for the enrollment through the contact numbers published by the school. Physical presence of parents or guardians school for enrollment shall be the last option and shall only be allowed on the third week of June with strict adherence to minimum health and safety standards. For incoming kinder learners, parents of incoming kindergarten learners shall contact the school to communicate their intent to enroll via digital and or physical enrollment platforms established in the schools and barangay halls. Instruction to parents and learners for transferees and for balik-aral enrollees. For transferees, learners planning to transfer from one school to another shall directly contact the receiving school through its published enrollment contact details. For balik-aral enrollees, all balik-aral enrollees shall directly contact preferred schools. Receiving schools shall register enrollees' enrollment and survey data. For ALS learners, ALS enrollees may communicate their intent to enroll via digital and or physical enrollment platforms established by schools and barangays with community learning centers. The form to be used is ALS Form 2 based on DepEd Order Number 58 Series 2017. This will be made available in digital and physical format. Protocol for Modified General Enrollment. So there are the major stages. 1. Pre-data collection. 2. Data collection. And 3. Data revival or retrieval. Stage 1. For the pre-data collection. How to ensure that enrollment guidelines and enrollment forms are widely disseminated, clearly communicated, and understood. Designate teachers to facilitate remote enrollment. Class advisors shall be assigned to facilitate the remote enrollment of learners from their advisory class from the previous school year, that is school year 2019-2020. Appoint enrollment focal person. Teachers without advisory classes shall be appointed as enrollment focal persons. Schools must ensure that each grade level has an appointed EFP to accommodate kindergarten, transferees, and balik-aral enrollees. ALS teachers shall act as EFPs in order to accommodate ALS enrollees. EPP or EFP's contact information shall be publicly posted to be easily accessed by progressive prospective enrollees. Establish digital and physical enrollment platforms. SDO and schools shall make the LESF available and accessible either in digital and print format, whichever is the safest way to access it. Setting up of queues in the school and barangay halls shall happen only after exhausting all possible means for remote enrollment. These enrollment booths do not necessarily have to be manned by school personnel for as long as necessary information materials and LESFs are made available to the public. ROs and SDOs shall establish hotlines in line with Operation Balik Eskwela to disseminate information and respond queries on enrollment procedures. Defer deadlines for submission of documentary requirements. So deadlines for the submission of documentary requirements required shall be deferred to December 2020. This shall apply in both public and private schools. Only schools and their personnel shall coordinate the transmission of learners' records, whether internally between a learner's previous and incoming class advisor or externally between schools. Schools shall not compel learners and their parents, guardians, to take responsibility of transmission of school records. Disseminate information on enrollment procedures. DepEd shall disseminate information on the enrollment procedures to the public through print and social media. Digital format shall be made accessible and downloadable from the websites of central office, regional offices, school division offices, and schools. Active participation of stakeholders is crucial on this school year's enrollment. DepEd shall implement various means to engage stakeholders, from information dissemination to the actual conduct of the enrollment, particularly in enforcing physical distancing. Parents or guardians in particular shall communicate to previous teachers of their child for the enrollment, except for incoming kindergarten, transferees, balik-aral, and ALS enrollees. Stage 2, that is the data collection. How do we ensure that all potential enrollees are able to submit LESF in the safest way possible? Through class advisors. Class advisors shall contact each learner in their advisory class from school year 2019-2020 using the contact information found in the SF1 and data obtained from early registration. Contact shall as much as possible be done remotely, with priority given to phone calls, SMS, and social media, which is mutually convenient for both parties. Through the initiative of parents and guardians, schools shall provide specific instructions on how parents and guardians of prospective enrollees may contact appointed EFPs. Through hotlines, social media, and other messaging platforms. So schools shall establish other means of communication such as emails, phone calls, SMS, Facebook, and other messaging platforms for those that cannot be contacted by class advisors. Parents, guardians may send their accomplished LESF through school email address published in the respective advocacy materials and web pages. Teachers shall encode their LESF data upon collection in the provided electronic LESF template while waiting for the deployment LIS encoding module and possible schedules. Grade heads will submit their consolidated GLMSS to the school focal person for consolidation of the schoolmaster file summary. For teachers without laptops and internet connectivity, any physical reporting to a school to encode LESF data shall strictly adhere to the minimum health and safety standards. If conditions will not allow for physical reporting in school, filled out hard copies of the LESF will be compiled until the LIS opens for encoding. Teachers with existing medical conditions shall be provided with assistance during the data collection. For existing learners, following the same process in updating the enrollment status of learners at the end of school year, the enrollment status of learners in school registry shall be updated based on their SF9. For this purpose, the previous class advisor shall encode collected learner data from the LESF in the LIS. For incoming kindergarten, transferees, balik-aral, and ALS learners, the designated EFP shall encode collected learner data from the LESF in the electronic LESF template. This template shall be forwarded by schools to the Planning and Research Unit at the SDO for consolidation. LIS encoding may be scheduled once the system experiences congestion. School heads shall ensure that all teachers have the means and support to encode LESF data. School heads shall also extend encoding assistance to teachers who have existing medical conditions and are not permitted to leave their homes. Public and private schools shall complete their encoding of LESF data in the LIS end of school year module not later than July 7, 2020. Stage 3. How do we ensure that LESF data will inform policy and program design and implementation? Analysis and evaluation. For regional office, assess summary of results from the LIS dashboard. For schools, assess summary of results from the electronic LESF template. Forms. We have first is the LESF or the Learner Enrollment and Survey Form. This is a tool that will be used to register learners for the school year and gather information on household capacity to facilitate the administration of various learning modes. Electronic Learner Enrollment and Survey Form Template, an automated version of the LESF. These forms can be downloaded in the Learner's Information System under the Download section of the Support tab. This can also be downloaded in this link. So download enrollment form and or the LESF from this link, http://enrollmentform2020. Okay, take note. You can download the LESF or the Learner's Enrollment School Form from this link, http://steped.in/enrollmentform2020. Functions and responsibilities. So, from the regional office, we have the pre-data collection, and data retrieval. For data privacy, schools shall properly dispose of accomplished printed enrollment and learner survey forms after these are encoded in the LIS. Okay, we have 4 preparation requirements. For the implementation plan, coordination and communication, systems modification, information advocacy. Information materials, These materials shall accommodate the initiative of the field to modify based on their specific context, that is, language translations, inclusion of schools, contact details, etc. Okay, that's all, my friends. Please subscribe to our channel so that you will be notified whenever we have some updates. You can also download this presentation from the link provided in the description. That's all. Thank you.